Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the Banquet Hall Podcast. My name is Kyler Nathan. I'm your host. I am very delighted to be in the presence of greatness, one of the top celebrities up and coming from the city of Los Angeles, California. My special guest for today is the one, the only Nilla. Nilla, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. Such an amazing introduction.
I was telling Nilla before we started recording, I feel like this is my red carpet moment. So I had to wake up extra early, hit some extra stretches this morning. I'm like, oh, will you interviewing Nilla today? This
okay, period. Gotta come with the energy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I have to be all in, as the Wafer Gang would say. But we're gonna talk about all in. We're gonna talk about the Wafer Gang. But I'm just excited to have you on the podcast. And the first question that I usually start off with, just because I like people knowing where folks are from. You and I share a hometown from the greatest city on earth. So let's get started with, where are you from, and what is it like being from the greatest city on earth?
Oh my goodness, I'm from Los Angeles, California. The place where everybody wants to be from. So that's, kind of stressful at times. No, but LA is amazing. I feel like it's so me in the way that there's so many different vibes of LA. LA is so multifaceted. We have everything. And I kind of feel like I'm a product of my environment, to where I kind of fit in with a lot of different vibes, and I'm composed of a lot of different vibes too. And I like a lot of different things. I do a lot of different things, and you can't really put me in a box. You can try, and sometimes, I try with the pressures of everybody else trying, but it doesn't really work. It does not work. So I feel like I definitely, represent my city in that way too. It's just like, you're gonna get it all here, and it's just top quality, and it's the best, you feel me? So it just is what it is.
I love it. See, that's the exact energy I expected from you, from this podcast. It is what it is. But I think that's one thing that I really appreciate about you as an artist. I think from your visuals, from the content you put out, you let people know, no, I'm from the city of Los Angeles. And I think that, especially as someone else who grew up in the city, we always talk about one day I'm gonna be in the lights, one day I'm gonna be on the billboards, and look at you now. So
that's crazy.
We're gonna get there though. We're gonna get to the billboard, because that, I think the listeners gonna know the billboard moments. I was like, oh no, let me make sure that I'm part of Wafer Gang and people know that I'm leading the Wafer.
No, the billboard was crazy. Definitely a huge milestone.
Yeah. So, well, since we brought up the bill, why don't we just take it from there? So, obviously, you're a current MC, a rapper. You're based from Los Angeles, California. And one day I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw you taking a video, and you looked up at a billboard, and it was yo big ass head. The biggest show had ever been on a billboard. And I'm like, oh, Nilla's like that. Nilla's like that, because I don't know anybody else who's been on a billboard. I don't.
Okay.
So what was it like when you first saw that billboard up in Los Angeles, California, with your name, your music, your aesthetic on it?
Honestly, I'm not even gonna cap to you. I'm gonna be 100% honest. When I drove on Slauson, because my mom had saw it first and she texted me. And so when I drove on Slauson, I was just like, this looks like it belongs here.
It does.
The face, the aesthetic, the Nilla, it just looks like it goes. And I just kind of it was definitely a manifestation moment for me, because I always knew, and everybody's always told me too, even in high school, that I have that star potential, star power. I didn't know what that meant, but people always saw it in me. And so when I looked up at the billboard for the first time, I think that was really one of the first times I saw it in myself, honestly. So it was dope. It was a confidence booster for me too. Because even with me, pushing the all-in brand and stuff like that, I wasn't always all in. And I actually wanted to, I pushed that so much also too, as a reminder and motivation for me because everyone else, it's inspiring to everybody else, but I needed the inspiration the most to believe that I can actually do this when this is a world that I don't come from, and that I know nothing about. So just seeing it up there is just like, wow, okay, I'm doing this. I could do this. Like, and I'm doing the thing and I'm on the right track. So it was crazy. It was dope. And for it to be right across the street from where I went to elementary school is another crazy thing, because I passed that billboard like every day growing up. So now the fact that my face is on, that same billboard at that location is just, it's crazy.
Man. And I think that's because I didn't even know about the elementary school thing, but just knowing that it was off of Slauson, I'm like, nah, this is some LA shit. Like this.
Yeah.
I'm from Los Angeles, California. This isn't a billboard that's on Hollywood Boulevard. We on Slauson with it because that's
right by Granny. Okay, right by Granny's house. Okay.
Man. And on my last episode, I interviewed one of my friends, Joy, and we were talking about how you're not really in the city of Los Angeles and experience it unless you ask somebody Granny house. Like that's the community of Los Angeles. It's grandma's houses. And so, man, I almost shed a tear when I saw your billboard. I was like, man, like that's little sis right there. Like
I know, it's crazy.
And this is only the beginning, but because I called you little sis, I don't want people to think that I'm capping on a podcast, just calling Nilla my little sis and shit. So why don't you let the folks know, how did we first cross paths? Like, where did our relationship start?
So let's see. I was a freshman or was it a little bit before that? Or was it summer? Was it summer school, I wonder?
Oh, you did do summer school before.
Yeah, it might have been summer, but before freshman year for sure. And you were going into your senior year. And you immediately, though, you always took me in. I know, me and Taylor was big sis and stuff, and she had introduced me to you, and your energy was just always, good. And you were so funny. You were so sarcastic, but it was hilarious. And I'm like, I always gravitate towards because a lot of people won't even know that you're actually funny as fuck, once you get to know you. But on the outside, like, you're so chill and yeah, I'm an introvert and no.
Not the face.
But you're so funny. So I don't know. It's just, Taylor we kind of all three connect and y'all became big bro and big sis. And y'all like freaking guided me through, my high school career and just being in, a freshman at Bishop Montgomery, having, the seniors, some cool seniors, who got my back. And, always cool, like, yeah, I'm in with the seniors.
Not you flexing your relationship with us to the other freshmen.
Yeah, that's big bro, that's big, so, yeah, so it was cool. And then I would hang around y'all at lunch, So it was always a vibe with y'all. And y'all were just good people, genuine good people, like-minded people. And yeah, and the friendship started from there, but you've always been big bro since freshman year.
Freshman year of high school. It's just wild how long ago that is, because that's literally 10 years ago.
That's sick. I'm like, my decade reunion is like around the corner.
Man, time flies.
Crazy. It flies by. Man. But it was a time. It was a time.
It was a time. And so freshman year of your high school career, senior year of mine, we crossed paths. I do remember you like always kind of just, if I was like walking the hallways with like Taylor or anybody knew, I knew you would like be somewhere near, just pop it up. Mm-hmm. But what I did not know was that our paths would cross again because you decided to follow me to UC San Diego. Just couldn't get rid of you.
Right. Sure did. Oh my gosh, sure did. That is so crazy. Yep. Ended up and that's a whole, and that was like part 2. So that was super dope. I remember, and I think we had talked about it too, like at my champagne party. So my senior year, when I had went to prom, you had came to my champagne party, which I didn't know that. Champagne parties are only an LA thing. I didn't know that.
I found that out in college because I was talking to like a group of people and we were like, oh yeah, like I had my champagne party here, I had prom here. They're like, champagne party.
Right, nobody knows it.
I was like, yeah, y'all don't get the limousine before prom and go
right.
off.
In the party at the crib, had the limo come and like, yeah, but okay. Anyways. So yeah, I had my champagne party and you came and we had talked about it there and stuff like that. And I was like, so that was cool. And then again, you had introduced me, to more people. And I just immediately, like, going into UCSD, especially like the Black community there is only but we some. So so me going to UCSD, you were the funnel, to introducing me to all my, all the other friends and the other Black community. I got involved with BSU and the freaking poetry slams that you would take me to that has everything to do with me rapping now as well. So yeah, we was just, from high school to college, I was right there.
You were right there. And so, dang, I forgot about the open mics and whatnot. Dang, maybe I did have an impact on you, I guess, huh?
Yep, the open mic nights. And because I actually started out, like, I started doing poetry and then I funneled into rap for poetry, so.
Well, let's go ahead and start there, because the next question I have for you is, where did you get your start as a rapper? I remember, at least my first vision of you as a rapper is what I call your front seat freestyle. Shout out to Kendrick in the back seat freestyle, but you had the driver's seat freestyle. How did you get started with your rap career?
Oh my goodness. So you want the long story or the short story?
I want the story that you want to give our listeners.
Okay. So I've been writing since I was younger. I used to write songs. And I thought I was, I would go around singing around the house and whoop, whoop. And then once I got to middle school, I started writing raps. I kind of got into, poetry and stuff like that. From poetry, I started writing raps, but I was very, very secretive with it. I didn't want nobody to know. Because I thought it would be like, that's so embarrassing, like I thought it would just be so embarrassing. So I kept it under wraps for a very long time. And then I got to high school and I met some boys who rap, and they would send me their music and they would think, they was trying to be cute because they had little crushes on me. So they was trying to be cute, like, oh, I'm gonna serenade her with some music. I was ripping them to pieces. I was like, no, this don't sound right over that beat. That chorus needs to be switched to the top. You need to take the first 3 bars and flip that. I was going in, and they wasn't expecting me to give them a whole analysis of the music. But I've always had an ear for music, and I know it sounds good, and I know how to put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it. So he was one of the guys. He was like, you know what? Have you ever thought about writing your own music? Because like you're really good at this. And I was like, I actually do, but don't tell nobody. And he was like, I want to hear some stuff. I always send you my songs. So I actually did send him. I used to record it on my voice notes because I wasn't going to the studio or nothing. So I would record it on like voice notes or my computer or something. So I sent him a voice note and he was like, nah, like this is fire, So I went to college. I noticed like throughout my entire life, I've always needed a creative outlet. So it might be writing. In college, it was YouTube. I started doing YouTube with 2 of my other best friends. But when we stopped doing those YouTube videos, I resorted back to writing. And so I remember we was at the crib one time and there was a lot of us living in that house. Like, I'm like, in college, we had like a big ass, we had a big ass place in San Diego. So it was like 4 or 5 of us living up in there. And we would just be fooling around. So one time we fooling around, we drinking and we having a good time, and they put on a beat and I had spit a verse that I already wrote. And everybody stopped and looked at me like, bitch, what the fuck? Say that again.
And I know your friends, they was hyping your ass up when you heard that.
They was hyping me up. So what I started to do, they was like, no, you gotta put this on Instagram. You gotta, da da da. At this time, everybody was posting a freestyle video. So this was 2019. We had the Thotiana challenge going viral on all platforms. So they like, you need to do the Thotiana challenge. And I was like, I'm not ready. I got family on my page. I'm not ready. I can't have my mama calling me about, this, that, and the third. So I was only posting raps on my Finsta. You remember the Finsta era. So, so I was posting my raps on my Finsta, and then the homie Rod, who actually went to Bishop Montgomery with us, he was like, "Yo, you hard. Like, I'll manage you, but you got to do this shit." And so I was so nervous. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. But after them just being on my head, like, bro, you need to do this shit. And then you got, Sweetie coming up. You got Megan Thee Stallion coming up during this time. And it was another rap girl. I forgot her name, but it was all these girls doing their freestyle raps and it was going viral on Instagram. So they were like, "No, you got to get in on this." So I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. So I did the Tatiana remix. Did the Tatiana challenge. I literally posted it through my phone. Didn't check. I turned all my notifications off for like an hour because I was so cringe. Like, I didn't, and like I want to say like an hour, 2 hours later, I checked my phone. The notifications were through the fucking roof. I had people calling me, like friends, my mom, my aunt, like, but like, where the fuck did you learn how to rap like this type? Like they was like, my brother was calling me like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, girl, you rapping now?" Like, but it was so good that it was undeniable and it just went viral. It went viral. People were sharing it. People threw it on Twitter. It went viral, but the virality of it, that was my first time really getting attention like that. It scared me. So I backed off. I stopped posting videos for like a cool little minute until it died down. Then I would post again, which, I was losing the momentum every time. I was kind of doing it on purpose because I was kind of afraid, So yeah, but shit just started taking off. And then everybody was in my DMs like, "Where can I find your music?" Because they thought that I was a rapper for real. So they was like, "Where can I find your music? Where can you, And I'm like, "Well, I don't rap for real. I kind of just do it, I just be writing." Like they was asking me, they was in my DMs like, we need music. I was like, I mean, shit, I'm still in college. Like, I'm trying to finish this bio class. Like, y'all talking about some music. I need to graduate. Huh?
He's like, I got a midterm tomorrow. Y'all trying to get a mixtape.
Right, exactly. And nothing ever went through my mind of dropping out of college to be a rapper. That was not in my head at all. I was just fucking around on the internet because my friends had told me to post it. So yeah, I'm like, y'all, I'm in school. Y'all be talking about some rap. Like, y'all gonna have to wait until I graduate or something because no.
Yeah,
So
but
that's how it started. And then, after I did that one Tatiana remix, then people started tagging me in stuff to do. So the Act Up challenge was going around. And so everybody was on the City Girls Act Up beat. So then they tagged me in that. And so I was like, okay, I fuck with the beat. I'm gonna do it. Did that viral, And so then the next one, it was just all these little challenges that people were tagging me in. So I just started doing them and they were taking off every single time. And then it got to the point where it was like, damn, like people was like, damn, this girl never missed. Like this girl never missed. So then that's when I started dropping some songs. 2019, I dropped a single while I was in college just to get it out there. Cause I went to the studio for the first time. Rod that I went to high school with, he started managing me and he was the homie, but it was dope having him to introduce me to that life because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know producers. I didn't know anyone who had studio time. I've never recorded in my life, but he was already managing another artist. And he was kind of getting into that space already. So he was like, I got producer, I got a studio I could put you on to. So once he put me on, I haven't stopped going to the same people since, I still record at the same studio that he took me to in 2019 and still work with the same engineer that he put me on to. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So I still record at the same place. And little by little, I've been dropping music. But as my star continues to grow, I'm like, oh shit, okay, no, I need to put my foot down and put the, foot on the gas. So that's where I'm at now.
It's foot on the gas time.
It's foot on the gas time. Now it's time to go all in.
All in. Well, that's a perfect segue because the next question I have for you is, how'd you come up with the name Nilla for your artist name? So my line sisters, I'm a Delta. And my line sister, Dominique, she used to call me Brunilla. And because my name is Brene. So
from Brene came Brenilla, and that became like my little nickname. My line sisters would call me when they're trying to be cute or trying to be funny or whatever. And so then, Brenilla shortened to Nilla over time, but they would only call me Nilla when like when I get into the rap mode, they'll be like, oh, that's Nilla, so it started like as a joke because Brene was like the college grad, the Delta, the college grad, she's on the BSU board and, it's like this whole professional student business. And then when I rap, I was spinning, niggas and I'm popping my shit. I'm bad bitch and da-da-da. So my line sister was like, nah, that's Nilla. That ain't Brene, that's Nilla. So Nilla became like my alter ego. And then I remember like, I was going back and forth because like I said, I don't come from the music business. I have very strict parents. And I know a lot about the industry. So it's always like scared me kind of because like, I guess I've kind of unconsciously got my parents' fear or, because my parents are there. They're terrified of the music business and the music industry. My grandparents, they call me all day, making sure I ain't sell my soul and I ain't, own drugs and, some more stuff. The entertainment business is just crazy, period. So I kind of took on that same fear. So I was kind of afraid to go into this space because I didn't want to lose myself. And you see so many people, so many up, just people. I had people in my family too that was in the entertainment business and I've seen them lose themselves. So I didn't want to be a repeat of anybody in my family. And I definitely didn't want to, just expose myself to something that I haven't been exposed to when I've been sheltered my whole life. But it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I can't let that stop me. Like I have to do it for real. And my friends have always told me like, if this is some shit you got to do, you got to go all with it. You got to go all in with it. And they always said that, like those exact words, like you got to put your all in it. You got to go all in because you're going to be competing with, the Megan Thee Stallions of the world, the Cardi B's of the world, the Nicki Minaj. You're going to be in that category. So you're going to have to put your all into it. And then one day I'm just writing out my name because I'm trying to figure out, like, my name was Brene Sharice on Instagram. I'm finna change my Instagram. I'm like, no, I'm finna do the Nilla. I'm finna rap. I'm getting ready to change my name on Instagram. And I'm just writing out Nilla. And I realized Nilla backwards is all in. And I'm like, you know what? I have to have this a part of my name because I need this as motivation and inspiration for me to remind me, I got to do this shit. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it to the net. And I'm gonna have to go all in with it because I can't keep, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It's never gonna work if I'm trying to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish. So then, Nilla All In was born.
Nilla All In was born. And just hearing you retell that story, I'm looking back at those moments because I can visualize like when you were in that like freestyle going viral era and when it started to be like, oh, Nilla All In, like your brand really started to come together. So it's really cool just hearing your perspective of all that starting. And I think throughout the first part of this episode so far, you've mentioned a lot about like the friends that supported you along the way, the connections that you made. So I want to talk about the Wafer Gang and your supporters. So I think it was probably about a year and a half or so ago when we started coining the Nilla supporters as the Nilla Wafers, vanilla wafers. I even photoshopped you onto the special.
Yes, that's what I was thinking about. The box. Yes, you started something crazy.
But what is it like to have like such strong supporters? First, looking at your close friends and those that are really like intimately supporting you, but also now looking at how much you've grown in your artist career and having like fans and like being able to go to South Africa and be the queen of South Africa damn near. Like,
right. It's crazy. I feel like, because I'm so humble. And I feel like growing up, I've kind of, even like in my younger, I used to do acting. I used to be in acting, but when I got to school, everybody would talk about it and, people would kind of, it's like all the attention was on me, but it's like, they would kind of talk about it in a way that it was more so embarrassing for me. Like in my head, to me, it was embarrassing. Cause kids, when kids bring up, I saw you on YouTube and, so I'm in elementary school and people are bringing up my acting and my, whatever. And instead of me coming into myself and like, well, yeah, and showing it off. It was more so I was ashamed of it because people were making me the outcast and they would talk about it all day. And so they would pull it up at school. They would get their phones out their backpacks and try to pull up the videos of me acting, in school. And it just got very uncomfortable. And I felt like I was kind of shamed for that. And I wanted to fit in. So I literally told my mom, I was like, I want the video taken down. I was in a short film and I had to cry in the movie. I was like, I was like a child. I was getting abused by like my mom or something. So it was this one cue I had to cry and I cried right on cue. Like it was great. But the kids at my school, they would, take it, they would make fun. They'll be, So I was like, Mom, I need you to take this down. Like, acting is cool, but no, the kids are making fun of me. Like, no. So I guess I felt like that part of me was always shamed. So I didn't fully come out into my, my acting person. Everybody who knew my personality was just my friends. And they were like, girl, you are a character. Like, you need to be on TV or something, But again, I thought it was just like such, it's such a bad thing. So I kind of just always dimmed my light to fit in with other people. I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want the attention because I didn't want everybody talking about me. I just wanted to fit in. And I kind of grew up with that mentality, went through middle school, went through high school, dimming my light, But again, it was always everyone around me who told me that I had that star power. Everyone around me who always told me that they gravitated towards my energy and me as a person and me as, whatever. So in my adult life, that's when I started recognizing my own super stardom within myself, kind of just me being an adult and looking back. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. I have a village around me who's supporting me. And I have people who tell me that they see something in me. So why can't I see this in myself? And I had to unlearn everything that I learned as a kid, because I feel like the acting and, the business and the entertainment, all of that when I was younger was kind of shamed. So I never pursued that in my younger years. And then once I got into college, and especially with the social media, you see everybody else living your dream. I see every other person living their influencer life and their acting life and their rapper life. And I'm like, damn it, I'm here just struggling at the UC California, San Diego. No, just playing. I'm struggling at UC San Diego. No, just kidding. No, I was gonna get through college regardless. But you see people just living out their dreams. And it's like, well, damn, why do I have to be stuck at this engineering company? Why can't I pursue what I want? Why can't I be an actress? Why can't I be a rapper? Why can't I do both? So it was more so me unlearning everything I learned from a child and being able to look at myself in the mirror and see what everybody else sees. And teaching myself that it's okay for me to talk my shit and have confidence because that's another thing. Like when you're too braggy on yourself or when you're too, straightforward with what you've accomplished or what you've done or how smart you are, whatever, like people look down at that, like, oh, she's cocky or, she's arrogant or, or she's narcissistic. And so I never wanted to come off like that. I never wanted to, I just wanted everybody to be comfortable around me. So I dimmed my light a lot so that everybody else could be comfortable. And now that I'm an adult, fuck that shit. Now that I'm an adult, I could be like, okay, no, I could pop my shit. I could pop my shit a little bit. Mm-hmm. If everybody else popping their shit, let me pop mine some more,
Let you talk your shit.
Okay.
But no, that's wonderful. And I think that's why, like, obviously, like I joke around with you sometimes, but whenever I can, I let you know that you're a celebrity in my eyes. Like, I think that we were talking about it before we started recording, but when I was coming up with the idea for the Banquet Hall podcast, you're definitely the type of person I was thinking of where it's like, people always see on social media all the negative things about celebrities or these artists doing this bad thing or said this controversial, problematic thing. And I'm like, there's really good people in this world who are on the up and coming that y'all need to know their stories for. And so I knew that at some point I wanted to make sure I got to interview on this podcast, because it's like, nah, like, I know y'all think, oh, all lady artists sound like this, or all rappers sound the same. No one's really talking about anything. Oh, these rappers, they need to go back to college. It's like, well, what if y'all heard Nilla's story?
Right. And I get it. And that's another thing too, because coming into this business, you learn the business. And I'm, I was coming from, like, I used to be a fan, like I still am a fan, fan of hip hop, fan of rap or whatever. So me as a fan coming into the music business as an artist, is like, oh, this shit really isn't what it seems. And it's like, there really are girls out here, really rapping, but it's the mainstream media, they're pushing certain things. And a lot of people don't realize it. And like, well, you don't see girls and, doing this and that, but you have to look for it. Like, you have to look and find it and do your research. So you can't complain about it if you aren't looking and doing the research, because we're out here. We might not be mainstream, because we don't have that money that's being pushed behind us to put us in front of every ad every time you open up Instagram. But if you would just do your little research and scroll on your For You page, you're going to see Nilla come up. You just got to be receptive to the content. You know what I'm saying?
Say that. And that leads to one more question I want to ask about your rap career specifically. When you look back 30 years from now, what do you hope to say that your legacy was? And like, who do you hope that people see Nilla as? Why should people have been listening to Nilla as this Hollywood Walk of Fame artist 30 years from now?
Oh, that's so deep. Honestly, so my main thing, like, I really want people to look back at the authenticity of the content and of my journey, because I feel like people think that, and this is what I thought the rap industry was too, like, I didn't want to be a rapper because I saw what it was. Like, okay, when you think of the average female rapper, you think about, you're gonna have to say certain type of things, you're gonna have to look a certain type of way. And I wasn't okay with manipulating my image and my sound and the way that I wasn't interested in exploiting myself. I'll say that. I wasn't interested in exploiting myself for money, likes, views, whatever. So that's why when my friends are telling me, oh, you need to be a rapper, I'm like, I can't do it. My daddy will beat my ass. Like, I'm not doing that. But you don't realize, wait a minute, I don't have to do that to be a rapper, And it took more conversations, and just conversations with people as well, to you don't have to go that route. You don't have to be you don't have, like I said, you don't have to sell your soul. If that's not what you want to do, then you don't have to do that. Because I've had other meetings with the labels and they wanted me to change my image, but it's like, you have a voice, you can say no. And I think that's when I got more comfortable, like, okay, well, yeah, that's true, we do have social media. When you look at hip hop, I feel like people build these caricatures. Whew, try saying that 3 times. I feel like the labels build these characters, and it's kind of like, okay, if you're a man, you a thug, you a gangster, and if you're a woman, you a stripper, and you rap, and you do the sexiness and and it's like, why is it only these 2 things? When you look at hip hop and when you look at the culture, when you look at the Black community, like, why is this the face of hip hop? And so when 30 years from now, when people look back, I want them to see, like, you can make your own lane and make your own story, and you can be the narrator of your own story. My biggest fear was letting, somebody else narrate my own story. And I feel like the labels do that a lot. And then you see why all these, a lot of these artists, they have so much hate and they get so much hate, but it's because we don't know you. You're whatever you're portraying or what you're selling to us isn't authentic to what we believe and what we see. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of artists now, they're struggling with building a hardcore fan base to support them. They'll have a hot TikTok hit, but they can't sell records, or they can't sell merch, or they can't sell out a show, because people don't know who you are. You're just selling us this, this caricature that you're kind of playing into, but we have no idea who you are beyond the music. And my biggest thing is I want to show people who I am beyond the music, because I'm more than music. At the end of the day, as artists, we're humans, and I don't want my fans or my audience to look at me and commodify me as a product and, just go away with me, just listen to my music and okay, next, you know what I'm saying? So it's really big for me to build that relationship with my audience and do it authentically and genuinely. I don't do anything that's not authentic to who I am or my brand. And I feel like that shows in my content. And just being relatable and filling a gap that isn't filled yet. I feel like there's so many artists just trying to come up and just create something, throw it out there and hope that it sticks. But I see a lane that needs to be filled. And so I really want to fill that, because when you look back 30 years from now and you look at the history book of female rap, and it's all, pussy talk in 2023, at least I could be up in there somewhere and, they could be like, okay, well, this is something else. Well, we're always going to experience heartbreak. We're always going to experience ain't shit ass niggas. And girls, and women too, we always gonna experience, toxic motherfuckers. So it's like, I want to speak on these things because nobody is talking about this. And this is one of the main things that we have issues with as women in the community. Like, as women, I feel like we go through way too much to just talk about one thing. There's so many different topics to cover. Let's start with these niggas. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But just self-love too, like a lot of like my music, my brand, it's all about just self-love, positively loving yourself, putting yourself first. Because I just feel like it's just, there's so much other things that I call it low vibrational music. We already have so much low vibrational music. So I kind of just want to, every now and then, I could talk my shit too. I could get a little low vibrational every now and then, but really just giving people quality content that they didn't know that they needed. You feel me?
Yeah, that they didn't know that they needed. I think that's the accurate way to describe your music. Because I remember the first time I heard one of your full projects, I'm like, oh, I didn't know I needed to hear this. And then you got to throw the bullshit on the playlist real quick, because sometimes you ain't got no time for the bullshit.
Exactly. Exactly.
But as we round out to the tail end of the podcast, you recently released a new project, One Wish, and I wanted to give you some time, especially for the folks who are listening. Maybe this is their first time hearing about you. I know I got family members that listen to my podcast. So why don't you talk to them a little bit about One Wish and why they should give it a listen?
Yes. So I just dropped a new single, One Wish, with Griff Tyler. And this song is basically about, it's a deep one. It's a deeper. And really it's about taking your power back. And really it's about holding people accountable for their actions. I see a lot of women going out sad over men. And I think the media contributes to it, honestly, because we're in the age of where toxicity is glorified and ain't shit ass niggas and dealing with a nigga who ain't shit, but he got money. So, hey, I'm gonna sit here and get cheated on and be quiet because he got a couple of coins in his pocket. It's stupidity. And so I want to talk about this in the music. So it's it really just talks about, no, if you're not here to treat me right, if you're not here to prioritize me and put me first, if you're going to be, manipulating, and if you're going to gaslight me, I don't care what you have. I don't care what you do. If you're treating me like an afterthought, you have to get cut off, So, and it's also too I wanted to give women this song because I see so many women unhappy in their relationships, and so many I've just, even on Twitter, just looking at just the different arguments that, these couples have, and women not getting able to say what they want off their chest. But in this song, I'm not holding nothing back. No, I need you to take accountability. I need you to take responsibility, and kind of just getting off your chest of what you need in that relationship. and giving the girls something to vibe with and connect to and relate to. And people have told me like, no, bro, like you read my life. Like, this is my life. People have told me, literally somebody the other day told me that they had it on repeat and they were crying because this is a song that finally made them break up with their ancient ass boyfriend. And it's like the fact that, you know, music is so powerful. And it's like the fact that this one song had, you know, the influence and the impact on her to leave this relationship and want more for herself. Like, my job is done. You know?
Wow, that's really powerful.
It's crazy.
And that's what art has the power to do. Like, you give people permission to feel, you give people permission to choose themselves, to set the boundaries that they need. So wow, and that's, I mean, One Wish hasn't been out that long, and it's already impacted that one person. And that's just who has already told you. You never know somebody could have just listened to that song right now and it's gotten them through a situation or anything. So that's really dope that you're able to put that out there for the people that you want to support with your music and give an ear to.
Yes, for sure. And I feel like too, like a lot of times when we're in situations, we don't know that it's wrong. Like we feel like it's normal, you know, especially if we grew up in toxic households or, you know, anything toxic environments, we think that that's normal. And there's not a lot of people, I feel like the culture is only reinforcing that. You know, we see Krishan and Blueface, we see, you know, we see the toxicity in relationships and the money that it's making. So in our heads, it could think, oh, well, shit, well, yeah, I'll be beating on my man too. And so this is normal. You know, it reinforces the normalcy. But this isn't normal, nor should it be, nor should we be trying to normalize this. And I don't want to be all, you know, because I know how the people get when you get all preachy. People don't like the preachiness. I am not a prune. I am not a prude. I like to get a little ratchet sometimes too. Okay.
Let them know.
I am, you know, because people I feel like whenever you go on that route, they think you a granny or you an auntie. You know, no, I'm hip. I get it. But at the same time, I think representation is important. And we have that representation, which is cool. We got that representation. But now where's my representation? Because I don't act like that. So where do I see me in the artist that's out there? I don't. So now I have to become the artist because I don't see me in another artist that's out there. So now, you know, I'm filling the lane that I would want to see, you know, from a fan point of view. And since I was a fan coming into the industry, I can kind of do that. And people ask me all the time, like, oh my God, you're the marketing genius. Like, how do you market your music and da-da-da? I'm a fan first. So I know what I want to see as a fan, you know, and me being the artist, I create the content. You know, Brene is thinking of the content. Nilla is creating the content. You know, so it works.
It does work. As we kind of close off the podcast, I have some quick hitters. So whatever first comes to mind is totally fine for an answer. First up, who are some of the people who inspire you?
Ooh, okay, because I have a lot of inspirations, and honestly, like even beyond music, like Raven Simone is one of my biggest inspirations, and I'm Keke Palmer, Drake, Nicki Minaj, even Megan Thee Stallion, Russ. I have a lot of inspirations. Eve, Aaliyah, Doja Cat. Who else? Because yeah, girl, I could sit here and do this all day. Beyonce, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, that's saying that. I mean, that's nothing new. Yeah, but I be trying to sound like you know, everybody say got Beyonce on the list. I be trying to be different and shit.
Some of the people that we may not know of, like some of the lesser known folks, like, or people in your life, friends, family members that inspire you.
Oh my God, absolutely. Because definitely my mom is a big inspiration. Honestly, when I read you sent me your poetry book, and even just going through your poems and the vulnerability had inspired me, because I'm like, oh shit, I could do this with the music like that, you know, being vulnerable in my music and really being authentic and true to who I am. So absolutely you, my mom, and even like my friends too, because my friends are in their own lane doing their own shit. And it's crazy because it's like, you know, they're fans of my music, But I'm like, bitch, you in damn, you just took your nursing, you work in the hospital. My other friend just got her master's. Like, girl, I'm a fan of you because it couldn't be me. And they look at me like, no, girl, it couldn't be me doing what you're doing. I'm like, well, hey, we all doing what we just all doing what we doing, but we're all in different fields, but the ambition and the drive and the mindset is all the same. Like my homegirl, even my line sister who does hair, and her work is amazing, but it's just like seeing how she's running her business, and just the promo, just what people are doing, I could just put that in my own shit and tailor it to my own field. Even let's see who has it. Oh, brandman Sean at he's a marketer actually. So brandman Sean and Corey, they work on the what's their late they have a podcast called No Labels Necessary. And so that's where I've been, like all my free time, I'm listening to their podcast. They have absolutely 100% inspired me to do this shit on my own, and really realizing that you really don't. I mean, I always knew that you didn't need a label. Like I already knew that was the goal from the jump. I never planned on really, I really don't care to be the next Beyonce of rap, to be honest. As long as my bills is paid and family taken care of, okay, and I could travel and do what the fuck I want to do, then that's really all I care about. So I'm just like, seeing how LaRussell does his thing, and he's independent. Russ, like I said, I've kind of just been look and be like, okay, so this is possible. And granted, a lot of men are doing it, and I'm like, well, shit, I'm just, I'm repping for the woman. And it's possible. So, and it's cool because also with, LaRussell, I was looking at one of his interviews the other day, and he was saying how he came from aerospace. I think he came from like working in engineering. I'm like, oh shit, me too. Like, so it's like we already have a different mindset because we worked in the real world. So yeah, so now it's more so like I was just talking to my boyfriend about this actually, because he was talking about just the artist stuff and everything. And I told him, I was like, I see myself more as an entrepreneur than anything, because I feel like as an artist, your job is to make music. But as an entrepreneur, I'm out here, I'm all in, getting to the bag any means that any means that I can. I'm doing the artistry, but I'm also, I've been mentoring one-on-ones, I'm doing one-on-ones with other artists as well. And doing the content, doing the comedy, doing the acting. Like I'm doing the entrepreneur route so I can stay in control of my shit. Okay.
Yeah, you got to be all in on yourself at the end.
You got to be all in on yourself. And I think a lot of times, like a lot of people, which I get it too, because independent, like it's hard. Like you got to do everything. If I could sign to a label, man, that'll make my life probably so easy. But you got to see the bigger picture too. And I think a lot of people, they kind of just they see one aspect of it, one side of it, but you got to play the long game. And so I'm in the state right now where I'm trying to play the long game and really trying to get my business, my shit in order, and especially going to UCSD and even having the experience at that engineering company. It's like, oh shit, okay, I know exactly why God put me in that school. I know exactly why he put me in that workplace, because now I have the experience to do what I need to do. I have the mindset, I have the discipline, I have the determination, I have the time management, I have the organization skills, I have everything to do this for myself, to run my own label. Everything that I've learned in school in engineering, I have everything to really do this shit on my own. So yeah, those are some people who have inspired me. And honestly too, because there's so many people in my family that I didn't say, like, I find inspiration in so many things. Even my friends, like I'll be venting, or no, my friends will call me and will vent to me, and I will turn that into a song, And so it's like I found inspiration, just in that conversation that I've had with the homegirl. And that's how most of my songs really come about too. I know everybody think I'm over here just hurt. But it's art, and I love the process and the journey of just like emotion and just writing and channeling those emotions. And although, I mean, I'm in a healthy relationship now, but I can pull from, past experiences and channel that energy and write like, I'm going through it now. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, I find inspiration in a lot of things, a lot of people. And I never know what can spark the moment. Like even a fan, I went to South Africa and they taught me futsek. And that's Afrikaans for fuck off. Mm-hmm. And even with them teaching me futsek, a fan commented, turn it into a song. And they inspired me, to turn that into a whole song. And now I'm the queen of South Africa. So I find so many things that, that give me inspiration on a daily basis. But
yeah, you're an artist. I mean, that's what art is. Like you hear a conversation, or even if you just overhear some people in a coffee shop say some shit, it's like, oh, I can, because that's how I like do the poetry. It's like, oh, I can turn that into a poem, or oh, I really like that very specific
what they said. Yes, exactly. Same thing.
Same exact thing. Mm-hmm. Last few questions. One, where can people find you? I know you already out there and famous and whatnot, but you still got to.
Please, we need more eyes. Yes. So you can find me on Instagram at official.nilla. That's my TikTok as well, official.nilla. I'm on all platforms, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Music. Just search Nilla all in. My YouTube, Nilla all in, at official.nilla. And then on my Twitter is at official_Nilla.
Official.nilla.
But yeah, official.nilla on all platforms. I'm kind of, Twitter be too toxic for me, so I don't really do the Twitter too much. I am on Threads.
I'm about to say, you got the Threads, though. We got to start plugging our Threads.
Yes, I'm on Threads at official.nilla. So y'all hit me up.
Her up on the thread. And then what about some shameless plugs? Or anything coming up that you want to manifest or plug out there for people to be on the lookout for?
Yes. So I want this to be my year of visuals. I'm going to have a lot of visuals coming out, a lot of new music. I've been dropping a song a month, and I dropped a project about a month ago or 2 months ago. So about a month ago. Yeah. So I got a lot of music coming out this year. I have my futsek EP on the way for my South African fan base. And then I also have some other fun summer singles. I got No Beef coming up. That's gonna be my hot little summer jam. So we're working on the visuals on that. I'm manifesting more collaborations. I can't believe this year is almost over. Like, that's sick.
Wow.
But we're gonna go out with a bang. Yeah, more collaborations, more visuals, and we're gonna be in content overload. Okay. Y'all gonna be seeing a lot of my face because the content is getting deep.
Say that then, manifest that.
The content is getting deep. Y'all gonna be seeing a lot of new content from me. So it's gonna be fun.
See, listeners, very well. Listeners, in about a couple weeks, you'll be able to go to your local Black-owned restaurant and get the Nilla sponsored banana pudding with the official Nilla wafers.
Yes. Oh, I gotta hit up Mike's Deli.
Yeah, imagine they got the Nilla banana pudding
right across the street from the billboard.
Stop. See, this is why I'm on Wafer Gang, so I can give you these ideas for free.
Yeah. And then you're gonna be on the team.
Deep in here. I know we're a little over the time that we originally had allotted, so I just want to close this out with what do you hope that people take away from this episode, and what did you take away from this episode?
I want people to take away that I want people to stop looking at other people and thinking that's what they gotta do to get on. Because I feel like I was doing that for a very long time. And we see everybody says, oh, be yourself, be authentic, be true to you. That's what we hear. But no, the reality is we get inspired when we see other people doing their shit, but everybody's on their own journey, and what works for them is not gonna work for you. So while you ripping and running, trying to make the same content that I'm making, I love that, I want to be able to inspire, but at the same time, if you're not seeing the results, and you got to take it because it's not authentic to who you are. So absolutely just be, not to sound cliche, but it is true. You really do have to do what's authentic to you and be yourself, and just recognize your own star power. Don't let anybody dim your light. I want people to take that away. And when you're humble, and when you treat people good, and you put that energy out into the world, then that's the only energy that you're going to receive back. And I talk to a lot of artists, and the biggest thing that people ask me, who want to either be in my position or who are trying to do the music thing or trying to do the content thing, they always ask me, how do you deal with the hate in the comments? It's like, I don't get that much hate. I really don't get a lot of hate, but I think that's just because of who I am as a person, and I let people see me vulnerable. You know, like there's been times where I've cried on social media. Y'all seen me, crying, or y'all seen me mad. You've seen me happy. You've seen me upset, but I share with you the behind the scenes too, because it's a journey and it's a process, and there's ups and downs. So as long as you're being, just be authentic, be vulnerable. There's no shame in vulnerability. Don't be cringe. Don't cringe at being vulnerable, because we're all human, and we're all here to connect. And so I want also people to take away that if you have a goal in mind, you have a vision, you have, whatever, you can't do it alone, but you can do it when you're connecting with people. So yeah, I want people to, more so I feel like, in the start of my career, I kind of focused on the numbers and the viral and the followers. I need 1 million followers. I need 100,000. I need, but I was never growing. And I didn't start growing until I let go of everything that I wanted. And I just woke up and I said, you know what, what's the content that I want to create today? If I had 0 followers, what is the content that I would post?
That's an important question.
If I had 0, if I wasn't trying to share, because a lot of times we see success, we get the virality, and it's like, oh, okay, well, what do they want to see? But no, if you would stop and keep doing what you're doing, you're on the path. It's working. But, I used to get really caught up in seeing what other people are doing, and, oh, well, they're this far, but you can't compare your journey to anyone else's, because they're not in the same situation as you. So what works for Megan Thee Stallion isn't going to work for me, because I'm not Megan Thee Stallion. And, that's not my lane. I keep bringing her up because I love her. So, so, no, I got to do what's authentic to me, and trust my journey. And yeah, just focus on you. That's it.
Focus on you and be all in on yourself. I think that.
And be all in on yourself. Go all in. Put your all into it. Whatever you do, you gotta put your all into it, because once you're putting your all in it, then you're channeling that energy. You know what's so crazy? I know we over time. I just talk a lot.
I know. I got nothing but time.
I'm like, what's so crazy is like, okay, what I was going to say was, I didn't start, like my journey didn't start really, like ever since a certain point, I've just been like this, just going up on a steady, just a steady. And it was after I quit my job, after I left my job, because it switched my mentality. Now I'm all in. Now I have nothing else to fall back on. And I feel like too, like giving myself that, like I was staying at my job because I wanted a backup plan, but I feel like now looking back, I was preparing myself to fail. Why am I staying here for, I get it, because you got to be smart.
But the mentality behind it, it's like, what do I need a job for if I'm about to make it?
Exactly. And it's like, I'm staying there trying to play it safe. But if this is about to happen and I have 100% confidence in this, why am I staying here? I had to leave. So I had to leave for myself so I could get my mentality right. Like, oh, I don't have any other option. And I think that's the importance of going all in, because once you work on something and become obsessed with it, like now I'm obsessed. I have nothing else to do but work on me and my business and my content so I'm literally doing this 24/7. And it's like it's inevitable. It has to work. It has to pop. And it is, because this is all that I'm doing. And this is where my focus is going. So absolutely, you gotta go all in and be all in. Like Nilla.
The All In segment is sponsored by Nilla. But so that was what you hope people took away from this episode. What did you take away from our conversation? This is the first time we've had the chance to chop it up uninterrupted for like a whole hour. Haven't really seen each other that much. We were joking before the podcast. The last time I saw you was in a Juneteenth crowd at Lamert Park, and I thought
we almost got trampled together.
Right, we almost got trampled together. Then you're like, "Hey, brother," I'm like, "Nilla." Like, what are the odds? But what did you take away from our conversation?
Oh my goodness. Definitely. I love, like, because there hasn't been a lot of times where I've also just said like the entire story. Like, I've been interviewed on other platforms, but I didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of like the background. But knowing you, and you were there, for a lot of the background. So it's dope kind of just seeing it all play out and seeing how I manifested this even unconsciously, like just my energy always being in music. And another takeaway just period is kind of like, it's crazy because going through college, going through whatever, I was kind of just doing what everybody else told me to do. College wasn't an option for me. My parents told me I was going to college. Okay, y'all, you right. You pay the bills. You right. So I didn't have much to say. So I went to college and I was a biology major, just doing what sounded good. And then I switched over to human development because biology was a little rough. So, doing human development, I added a specialization. I just felt like I was doing everything just because it sounded good or people told me to do it. I never knew what my passion was. And something like rapping, something like writing, something like, being creative is something that I've been my entire life. And I never saw that as a passion just because it came so easy to me. Like, just like writing a song, like, or, just getting online and fooling around. Like even with YouTube, when we got on YouTube, almost instantly our YouTube channel started booming. And it's like, everybody at the time was kind of making YouTube channels. So people looked at our channel like, oh, this is just another YouTube channel. But BTK Beauty had fast growth. And so just me looking at always being able to gravitate an audience is like, damn, okay. Like in this conversation, I'm realizing this is a full circle moment. Like I've had eyes on me since I was a kid, so it's dope now that I can fully walk in that. Even when I was younger, I used to do like the Christmas, I used to sing at my Christmas plays. I used to be in plays and I used to just do a whole bunch of artistic and creative shit, singing and dancing. I was in dance and da-da-da. But yeah, now it's like, wow, it's a full circle moment. Like I used to really sit in my room and write songs for fun. And now I'm here 24 years old, writing songs in my room, like for fun, but I'm selling it to the fan base. Like I have fans.
Yeah, you do. Wafer gang out here.
Who want to hear my music? That's crazy. It's crazy.
It is, but at the same time, it's not. Like you said, it's been written for you since you were in the spotlight as a kid, acting. All of that was all part of your journey, and I'm happy that people get to hear that part of your story because, like I said, I feel like a lot of times people see the end product, and like Nilla wasn't just spontaneously born out of anywhere and just started rapping and went viral on TikTok. Like this is you. Like every time I see you on social media, I was like, nah, that's Nilla. Like that's the Nilla I went to high school with. That's the Nilla I went to college with. Like nothing has changed. And I think that I'm happy that one, you trusted me to help you share your story on this platform, that you blessed the Banquet Hall with your presence. And I'm just looking forward to more people hearing about you and seeing what the next steps are. Just know that I'm proud of you. People are proud of you. Proud of you. Los Angeles for damn sure proud of you. Like I know everybody, when I see people from Bishop on the timeline on Twitter and they be retweeting stuff like, nah, like low key, it's like, nah, Nilla's ours. Like we made it. She made it. We made it.
Period. And you know what? It's so funny because it's like I have so many people who've been following me for such a long time. And I remember I was so stagnant on Instagram, and it was this phase where I was stuck at 20K. And then I'll be stuck at 30K. I was just stuck. But this was back in, this was my influencer days. Because a lot of people don't know. I still am an influencer, but I was strictly, I was an influencer before rapping. And it's funny how people have seen me kind of switch over fields a little bit, from influencing to getting the confidence to not only, look cute on Instagram. And that's another thing with when we're talking about growth and building a brand, looking at what's working and what doesn't. Because at that time, everybody was on Instagram looking cute. There was so many influencers and things like that. But, then I started rapping and people were like, oh shit, she's cute, but she can actually spit, So it's kind of just like that transfer over that people got to see from me being Renee Sharice to Nilla All In was also like, damn, okay, well, we rocking with it. Like, this is new. But fuck it, we here, we all in.
I love it so much. But yeah, just want to thank you again for coming on the podcast. Thank you for your energy. I had a blast listening to your story. Obviously, like I knew parts of it, but just like you said, hearing it all together is always magical for our listeners, especially all the new listeners who I know want to hear your story. I know when I look at the analytics after this, is going to be a bunch of South African listeners on my podcast, but as y'all are here listening to Nilla, make sure y'all also follow the Banquet Hall Podcast at Banquet Hall Pod on social media. Follow official Nilla on platforms, whether it's official.nilla, official_Nilla. Follow her on TikTok, Threads, Twitter, Instagram, all that. You still got a MySpace. I don't know if we're doing MySpace still. No,
I'm like, everybody's been, but you know what's funny? Everybody's been talking about MySpace. I'm like, is MySpace making a comeback or something? Because I think everybody's talking about MySpace these days.
Hey, we'll go on the MySpace channels too with the Wafer Gang.
Yes.
Thank y'all for tuning into this episode of the Banquet Hall Podcast, and we will catch you next.
And shout out to my South African wafers. Tandeka loves you.